Per usual, North Texas is loaded with Division I talent this season. And this year, some of the area's best prospects are wide receivers, including one wideout who might be the best in the entire country. It's time for our Players to Watch segment. Let's start with possibly the best skill position player in North Texas. Allen wide receiver THEO WEESE. The 6'3" wideout has tremendous hands, enabling him to pull down balls in heavy traffic. Last year, he caught 57 passes for 880 yards and 14 touchdowns while helping the Eagles take the 6A state title. WEESE is a great route runner, and not only is he Allen's go-to receiver, but should fill the same role for Oklahoma the next few years as he committed to the Sooners to play college football.
THEO has great body control, and THEO can really judge a football. And the thing that he has is a lot of receivers don't have is the length in his arms, and just being able to judge it. But it starts with your body control. If you can put your body in a position to really go up and grab the football, then that's an extra weapon. It's not something that you can coach, but THEO really works hard at practice on his ball skills.
Sticking with the wide receiver position, let's head to Hebron and their stud receiver, TREJAN. The senior's a playmaker in the Hawk offense. He caught 62 passes for 843 yards and 13 scores last year. With a new quarterback this season, TREJAN will be counted on to make even more plays. Bridges is also a physically dominating wideout and can use his size and speed to get open. Bridges will be joining WEESE at OU next season. Another wide receiver with fantastic hands is Colleyville Heritage's Cam Brown. As part of a dangerous duo with graduated Kayvon Ahmad, Brown caught 71 balls for over 1,100 yards and 20 touchdowns. He's a two-way star for the Panthers, but look for him to make big-time plays in Coach Joe Willis' prolific offense. Brown will be headed to Texas A&M next year. At the quarterback position, look for Allen's Grant TISDALE to have another solid year. In his first season as the Eagles' full-time starter, TISDALE threw for 2,100 yards and 30 touchdowns while running for over 1,000 yards and 15 more scores. With one of the area's biggest offensive lines and talents like wide receiver THEO WEESE, expect another big year for TISDALE. The former bobblehead winner will be heading to Ole Miss next year. Rockwall's Jacob Clark is a pro-style quarterback that can fill a stat sheet. Last year, Clark connected with his targets to the tune of almost 3,000 yards and 29 touchdowns. It's a strong-arm gunslinger who's extremely accurate. Not too many quarterbacks pass the eye test like Clark either. He'll be heading to Minnesota next year to become a Gopher. When you start talking about the dynamic dual-threat quarterbacks, you have to mention SKYLINE's VELTON GARDNER. He accounted for almost 3,000 yards and 30 touchdowns last year as the Raiders' starting signal caller. Very athletic and only needs a little bit of daylight to make a small gain a big one. It's still unknown what position he'll play at Kansas State next year, but for now, he's another in a long line of solid SKYLINE quarterbacks. Northwest Eaton's moving up from 5A to 6A, and if they're going to find success, they'll need running back Titus Venn to have a big season. The shifty back rushed for over 1,800 yards and 22 touchdowns for the Eagles as Eaton got its first ever playoff victory last year. Venn stays low, and if you don't get him down early in the play, he could break it with ease. Last year, he ran for over 300 yards in 2 games. He holds offers from SMU, Arizona State, and Kansas. Quite possibly the best defensive player in the area is Mansfield Legacy's quarterback, JALEN. You heard that right. CATALON leads the Broncos offense as well as shutting down the opposition's offense at safety. JALEN followed up a sophomore year where he picked off 9 passes by intercepting 3 passes and making 93 tackles as a junior. Offensively, CATALON accounted for over 2,200 yards and 28 touchdowns. He has offers from Texas, Alabama, TCU, and Oklahoma, among others, to play defensive back at the college level. Anthony Orgy's been starting in the secondary for Rockwall since he was a freshman. At 6'1" and 215 pounds, Orgy's built like a Mack truck and enjoys making hits at the safety position. Besides racking up 72 tackles, Orgy also picked off 3 passes last year. He will be following his older brother, Alston, to Vanderbilt next year. At Coppell, Jonathan McGill is one of the area's best two-way players. As an athlete on offense, McGill was responsible for almost 1,000 yards of offense, but on defense, he racked up 80 tackles and helped lead the Cowboys 3 rounds deep into the playoffs. McGill will be playing cornerback in college, where he has offers from Stanford, Oklahoma State, and Texas Tech.